Welcome to 2018. I cannot believe it's the second week already. I planned to hit last week, just kill it, and I ended up down with a crazy flu that's going around, and then as soon as I got to feeling a little bit better, I went into a coughing fit and threw my back out. So it was quite the week for me, but this week's been going much better so far, and I'm super excited. So anyway, on to the excitingness. I have a little show and tell for you that comes with a tip. I guess it's Tuesday, so this can be Tip Tuesday. That's exciting. So anyway, without further ado, I got something in the mail today, and I paid almost $300 for it. Are you ready for this? Super exciting. I got the newest, latest, greatest Pantone swatch book, specifically the Color Bridge, and I'll tell you why I love the Color Bridge in a second. It's amazing that they cost as much as they do, considering it's just paper with a bunch of swatches on it, but it's super important, and here's why. So, when you're building your brand and you're getting things professionally printed or manufactured, sometimes the color is super important, right? Especially if you're in the orange family, super important, and I would highly suggest figuring out what your Pantone number is. And here's why. So this is a Color Bridge, and it has a bunch of Pantone swatches, but it also shows you the closest equivalent to that color in CMYK. So the reason that's important is because there's a bunch of different ways you can reproduce your color. Let's say your color is a very close match to Pantone 144. So if I designed your brand for you and we picked out a color palette, I likely gave you the CMYK version. So that's how you make that color on paper using a mix of cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Okay, so CMYK is for print. I probably also gave you the HTML hex code, and that's a 6-digit code that you will typically see in website design or digital banners. And that'll work for almost everything. However, especially for certain colors like orange, it is very difficult to get super bright oranges in print. So if your Pantone color was 144, this is the closest equivalent in CMYK. So I don't know if you guys can see that real well on the screen, but it's a lot duller. Can you see that? So it's super important to know your number so that when you're talking to a print vendor and let's say you're getting shirts embroidered and they need to match the thread, you can show them this super fun, vibrant color. And the neat thing about having a Pantone number is hopefully they have a Pantone swatch book and they can pull it up just like this and they can see it with their own eyes. Because the big problem is that all of our screens are calibrated differently. So what I see on my computer screen may not be what you see on your computer screen, and that may not be the same color that your print vendor sees on their screen. And that can be very problematic because your print vendor might match your orange on their screen the way it pulled up in their email, and then you get it back in the mail and you're so sad because it's like so super dull, or it looks, too red. It could be anything. The important thing is that it doesn't match your brand, and you might be super confused as to how they could be so far off. But it all comes down to how your screens are calibrated. Everybody sees color differently. So the important thing about having a Pantone number is that Pantone 144 is Pantone 144, and no matter where you pull it up in a swatch book, that's why these are so expensive, they're going to look the same. Super important for certain things. So I ended up buying one because I hadn't had one in a while, and I had this exact problem with a client where they needed to get their shirts embroidered and the print vendor was trying to match a thread. So they have, a swatch book of threads, and they wanted to figure out which colored thread would be the closest. And these Pantone swatch books solve the whole issue because I can tell them exactly which color to match to, and I can trust that they're going to get as close as possible. So if you are a current client of mine, or past, if we haven't talked in a while, that's okay. I would be happy to give you your Pantone color at any point if you're a prospective or new client and you plan to have things manufactured, whether it be in print or embroidery, or trying to match your buy t-shirts that match, and you think a Pantone color would be useful to you, just let me know. We can add it to your color palette. It'll be super fun, and it will save the day more than once. All right, I hope that you're having a great week. I can't wait to talk to you more about the projects we have going or projects we could get going very soon here. So I'm cheering you on always and looking forward to a super great 2018. All right, have a great day. Talk to you soon.